Not so long ago, like for the past couple of months, the world has been hit with like this worldwide level of just goofiness. Some people even describe it as madness, where just the most wildest thing just keeps on happening, and it just absolutely makes no sense. The stories that you only think you could just make up, like when you're with your friends and you're like making a joke about like something insane that happens, and it's just something that makes no sense at all, is now just becoming reality. And today, this story just continues to add to that point because this has everything to do with just an absolutely goofy story. It has to do with $2 billion companies, anime, being super petty, and lawsuits. You know, all of those things combined land you with an extremely goofy story. And this one is right in my alley because this story has to do with something that I talk about a lot, and that has to be Musume. Yes, somehow we always find a way to loop back around to that game. And it's definitely not because I'm trying to do it on purpose, because I want more people to watch the anime, but that's not important right now. But let me start with the beginning of the story. This story has to do with two companies, Konami and Sai Games. Now, we all probably know what Konami is. They're an extremely big studio in Japan who makes a lot of games that people play. I don't really know any Konami games except Metal Gear. Those are really the only games that I know from them, but they make tons of other stuff too. And the other company that you have to know is a company known as Sai Games. Now, Sai Games is another company that's really big in Japan, and they also make a lot of things, like they make tons of gacha games, but the one thing that you're going to want to know from them is that they are the creator of Uma Musume. Now, this game is extremely big, especially in Japan, and it makes an absolutely insane amount of money. Like, I think the last time when they ended up showing how much money they make, I think it was around like $1 billion. This is extremely popular. I know a lot of people say it's like popular worldwide. I don't really know how much that's true, because I'm pretty sure most of their profits and most of the money that they come from Japan, because this game has an absolutely ginormous hold over there. Tons of people in Japan absolutely love it, and there's just so much people who will go and play the mobile game. And it makes sense, because I ended up playing the mobile game a little bit of it, and it's extremely enjoyable. It's a lot of fun to play, even though it's a gacha game, and I'm usually not really into gacha games that much. Konami out of nowhere ended up jump scaring Sai Game with a lawsuit. They ended up straight up going full cease and desist. They basically want to stop digital development of the game, and they're also asking for a whopping 4 billion yen. And I know what you're wondering. Wow, that is a lot of money to ask for. What did this company have to do to get Konami this pissed off? Because it has to be for a reasonable reason. Because you just don't come out of nowhere and just ask for that much money. What happened? What did they do? And that's something that a lot of people are basically wondering. So the reason why Konami is hitting them with the good old lawsuit is because they claim that Uma Musume has basically infringed on their patents, and they're basically asking for damages because of that. Now, this is sadly all we know about this situation. There is still a lot of unknowns about it, and we don't really know a lot about this at all. All we can really do is just sit down and put our conspiracy theory hats and do a lot of guessing, which is something that a lot of people on Japanese Twitter have been doing. They have been coming up with a lot of conspiracy theories to basically guess what's going on, to basically wonder why is this happening. And kind of like with most conspiracy theories, thousands of them will come up, but most people only disagree with one. And the one that a lot of people in the Uma Musume community is just collectively agreeing with is basically that Konami is trying to go after them because of a game system in Uma Musume that's extremely similar to another one of their games known as Power Pro. Now, this is basically a baseball game that they have been making for an extremely long time, and this game basically has a system where you can get two baseball players, make them join together, and they can basically go and create another player, and that newer player will basically get like both of their skills together, and you can basically train a new player and put him on your team, like the next generation of baseball players in your game. And basically Konami's mad because Uma Musume has a very similar mechanic to it. Now, I guess they have to be talking about the training mechanic, how basically you could go and train your horse girl with another one, and if like one horse girl is like super duper smart and has a high intelligence stat, and another horse girl is super strong, you basically make them train together as partners. The one horse girl that you're training basically gets increased stat, it basically gets some bonus from the other one. So like, oh, because I train with a super smart person, now my character is a little bit more smarter. Those two systems are very similar. Konami is basically going out of their way to basically go and sue them over that. Now, we don't know if this is true. This is the just a conspiracy theory. If that is the reason why, that will just be extremely wacky. I mean, how much video games have systems that are super similar for it? A good example is like the whole looter franchise. Ever since Destiny came out and made like the whole power level system, every single other looter game basically copies that system. They all basically do the same thing. Another good example is the whole extraction-based games. You know, ever since Tarkov ended up exploding and becoming super duper popular, there are now tons of other extraction-based games. Even if we go back to like Destiny, even they're making one with Marathon. They're making an extraction-based game. So I always think this is extremely weird when stuff like this comes out, and one company just gets super pissed off and acts like they own that one game system, and then get really mad at someone else and basically want to go and sue them over it. Now, another theory that a lot of people are saying is that this kind of just looks like jealousy. It kind of just looks like Konami is just super duper jealous that Musume is like really successful and is making a lot of money, and look how profitable they are. And apparently Konami isn't really doing that great. When was the last time they ended up like releasing something extremely good, or releasing like an extremely crazy game that a lot of people want to go and play? I haven't really seen that in an extremely long time. So it kind of just looks like Konami is just super duper salty, you know, maybe even jelly, some people may call it, and it's just extremely pissed off that Musume is just so successful, and they just look mad, and now they wanted to go to do this. Now, I am very interested to see how this whole lawsuit is going to end, because I really don't know how this is going to go. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know anything about the legal system at all. I'm just a man in a mask. I'm not really that smart, so I have no clue how this is going to go, and I don't even know if this is even something that you can sue for, especially in Japan. What I do know that court systems are extremely different in what country you're in, so I really don't know how Japan legal laws work, so maybe it's different around there. Maybe this could actually work. I don't know. But like most stories like this, all you can do is basically wait and see how it's gonna end. Anyway, my name is Lua. This is just something that I wanted to talk about. You have a good day or night. See ya.